Hi everyone, it's Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com. Thank you for joining me today. In this video, we're going to be making a card with a beautiful Dashing Deer bundle from the Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog using the stamp set and these beautiful detailed deer thinlits, and I'm using this one in particular. In fact, I've already cut it out and I've used the exclusive and limited time paper, the white velveteen paper from the Snowflake Showcase products that's currently available in November 2018 while supplies last, and it just makes some beautiful die cuts, and that's going to be the star of the show for our card today. But first I want to do a little background, so let me show you what we're going to use. I have a piece of watercolor paper that is cut at 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I have a clear block here that I'm using as a palette. And what I did is I took my ink choices, which I've chosen Balmy Blue and Highland Heather to give kind of a wintry background feel. And I opened up the ink pad and then I just patted it on top of the clear block to make a little ink palette that I can use with my aqua painter. Now the aqua painter is a watercoloring tool, comes to a pack from Stampin' Up, and it has a little well here that you can refill with water, and you squeeze it gently for water to come down into the brush, and you can use it to watercolor. So I'm just going to do a watercolor wash on this piece, and I'm going to start by squeezing a little water down into the brush and picking up some of the Highland Heather, and I'm just going to very easily brush it over the card, the watercolor paper there. So I'm going to do some here at the top and some here down here in this lower right corner. Just super easy, but really has a pretty effect. If you want a darker look, you would use less water, okay? And while you've got your palette there, you might as well do several so that you have them to use for different cards. Now, I'm going to take an old rag here and squeeze the water down into the brush tip and just brush that off to clear that Highland Heather off. And now I'm going to take Balmy Blue. Both of these are new colors in our color collection, the Subtles collection this year from Stampin' Up, and I just love them. And I'm just going to brush here, and I'm going to overlap that Highland Heather just a little bit to provide a little bit of continuity between the colors, okay? All right, so then what you can do, I'm going to go ahead and clear this off, is you can put some water on the back of your watercolor paper. And really, I could have done that ahead of time. It would have been a lot easier for me, but that kind of keeps it from buckling too much, okay, when it dries. So I'm going to set that aside, and I already have a piece that is dry that I did earlier. So let's move our palette out of the way and get this, and you can see how very pretty that is. And I'll go ahead and attach the deer that's going to go over top like this. Now I have a piece here that's cut at, let's see, 3/4 by 2 3/4, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment on that in a minute. But let me go ahead and put this on. These have our mini Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this deer, and I'm just going to let the little antlers lay there without any adhesive on the back. Now if you so choose, you could use our fine tip glue that has a very narrow tip and just make this a flat piece on top, but I wanted a little bit of dimension, so I'm putting it up close to the top because our sentiment is going to go down here. Alright, so my tip here would be when you slide it into the envelope to send this card, just be very careful that you don't bend these backward, okay, and it should be fine. And again, you may want to go ahead and put some fine tip glue behind it, but I'm just going to leave mine as it is. Now to get this to lie nice and flat on the card base, I've already put some tear and tape here. And I'm going to put it on a piece of smoky slate cardstock, cut it 4 by 5 1/4. And if you can see there, I've run it through the Big Shop with the Subtle Textured Impressions embossing folder. It's a dynamic folder, so it's thick, but it just gives the cardstock a texture and makes it stand out from the card base, especially when I'm using the same color. So here is Smoky Slate at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And this piece is going to go over top there. So let me go ahead and attach that. I'm just going to use some snail adhesive here. And I'm going to center that on the card front. Okay, now let's take our main piece, and that is going to be centered there like that. And I'll go ahead and pull the paper backing off of the tearing tape. And we'll put that on the front. Now this detailed dashing deer stamp set has some beautiful images, some stamped deer that you can use, and also another deer that has a little bit of an ornate look here, that there is a thinlet to cut that out in particular, and that's a beautiful piece there. All right, let's center this and get that on. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to take this piece here, and I have Happiest Christmas Wishes mounted on a clear block, and I'm going to use Balmy Blue and ink that up and stamp it on this piece for our sentiment. Okay, I'm just going to center it. There you go. And now I'm going to put it just right here, like that. And let's see, I think I want to add a little bit to that. Let me take this little border piece here with poinsettia and ivy, and let me get the block. And I think I want to put just a little border on that with my Highland Heather to tie that in. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper here. I'm going to ink up this piece, and I'm going to stamp off. Okay, and then I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to stamp on the edge, just like that, okay? And you know, it's just a little bit and just barely there, but it really makes a difference. It really adds to this piece that we're going to put on the card front with the sentiment. So, yeah, I like that. Okay, that just finished that off nicely. Let me get some liquid glue, and we'll just put that on. Tell you what, I'm going to make it easy on myself and use the snail since my glue wasn't cooperating, and attach that just like that. Now, to finish this off, I'm going to use just some of our plain Basic Jewels rhinestones, and I've got some here, and I've got a Highland Heather Stampin' Blends, and these are our alcohol markers, and they can be used to color non-porous items and embellishments that we can use on our projects. So I'm going to use this fine tip and color about 5 of these and give them that Highland Heather to add to our card front. Okay, let's see. I'm going to pick these up and just scatter these on that watercolored piece. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to go here. And I'm going to come down in this corner here. Okay, so there's a pretty Christmas card that you can finish off on the inside with a piece of Whisper White cardstock And this says, remembering you this season with warm thoughts and a wish for everything merry. That would be really pretty on the inside of this card. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. Visit my website at inkandinspirations.com, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.